Okay, again, good morning, everyone. My name is Judge Tamika West Bernard. I'm presiding over the first appearance calendar for the Magistrate Court of Clayton County today. We are streaming via live YouTube. We have all of the inmates that's on the first appearance calendar for this morning available via Zoom at the Clayton County Jail. I will proceed forward with swearing in the inmates, making my open remarks, and then each inmate that's on the list this morning will have their first appearance hearing. So if everyone would please raise their right hand. I need to see your hands. Thank you. Do you swear and affirm? Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up, sir. Do you swear and affirm that the information and testimony that you provide to this court, as well as the information that you provide on your court-appointed forms this morning, is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge? I need a verbal yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Again, this is your first appearance hearing before Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We are not here to try your case or to take a plea. You are here for the court to inform you of the choices against you, advise you of certain rights, set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail, schedule your preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you choose to give up this right, anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you if your case goes to trial. Doing this and all other proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or accusation for misdemeanors. You also have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena. You also have the right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so. But should you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You have the right to have an attorney represent you during these proceedings and all other court proceedings. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of the case, which may be by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with any applicable mandated fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will have to pay the company up to 15% of the total bond as their fee for their service. This fee will not be returned. Someone may post bond using their property if they have net equity in the property in an amount equal to 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to or around certain places. These special conditions will be provided on your bond order. You will also be prohibited from calling or having any contact with the alleged victim while you're in jail or out on bond. Should you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influencing witnesses, or other charges as the law may provide could be brought against you, for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000. For family members who will assist you in posting bond, they will be provided with your bond information after we have concluded the first appearance calendar for today. If a family member is an alleged victim on the warrant and there's a special condition that you're to have no contact with that family member, he or she will not be allowed to post bond on your behalf. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is simply not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a superior court judge, and I will inform you of that date at your first appearance hearing today. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized by law to set bond. Your bond can be reconsidered after your probation officer has an opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation. This is usually during your preliminary hearing. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there's enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained in jail until such time as your case goes to trial. For those of you charged with misdemeanors only, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing today. Waiving your preliminary hearing will not affect your right to post bond, your right to have an attorney represent you, or if you qualify for one, or your right to a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. and you will be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for arraignment for any misdemeanor. If you cannot make bond, you may waive your preliminary hearing and be taken before a state court judge, at which time, if you plead guilty, you will be sentenced. If you plead not guilty, a trial will be scheduled on your behalf. If you choose to have a misdemeanor preliminary hearing, your hearing will be scheduled for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. For those of you charged with felony offenses, you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing today. Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. That will conclude my opening remarks this morning. I will now proceed. We're doing the first appearance hearing for each of the inmates that's on the list this morning. We can proceed forward with the female inmates, deputies in alphabetical order. So, Deputy, I believe the first inmate I have on my calendar is Barlow, Barlow, female. Okay, please state your full name for the record.
Halima Doria Barlow.
Okay, Ms. Barlow, you've been charged with 6 offenses. The first, I'm going to give you the offense and then the bond amount for each offense. The first offense is possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is use or possession of drug-related items. Your bond amount is $500. Third offense is failure to stop or yield in violation of Georgia law. Your bond amount is $500. Fourth offense is driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond amount is $1,500. Fifth offense is driving without insurance. Your bond amount is $1,000. Final offense is violation of Georgia seatbelt law. Your bond amount is $500. Therefore, your total bond is $5,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
I like to waive it.
Okay. So if you would like to waive it, you will need to obtain a waiver form from the deputies, sign it, and they'll return it to me, and then your preliminary hearing will be waived. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
You completed one other question. You completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct?
What was that?
Did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel?
Yes.
Okay. Based on your application, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you.
Okay. Quick question. I do have a question. So with the
Yes.
waiving, would that
Go
be
ahead.
with the waiving, would that be basically, I was saying I want to waive it because I won't be here May 31st. I'll be out of town. Would it be rescheduled? Or
no, well, no, it won't be rescheduled. If you're gonna bond out, it will automatically be waived, or you can waive it today.
Okay.
So what will be your preference?
I'm gonna be bond out, so that's fine.
So you want to waive it? You want to leave it on the calendar and then let it automatically be waived, or do you want to waive it today?
I'll let it automatically waive.
Automatically be waived when you bond out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. So let me change that on your form. Anything else?
No, that'd be all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The rest of your day, love.
Oh, Judge, come
Judge,
back.
My apology, Judge. I'm just so
Apologize.
used to greeting people like that. Enjoy the rest of your day, Judge.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Oh,
I didn't hear that, Deputy. What was that? I guess I missed it.
she said, thank you, love.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we definitely don't want them doing that. Okay. I'm sorry, I would have corrected. I missed it. Okay. Okay. Next inmate.
What's your last name?
I believe we have Ms. Bowman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, give me your full name.
Danielle Marie Bowman.
Ms. Bowman, you've been charged with one offense of arson in the first degree. Your bond amount is $6,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then it looks like you completed a request for court-appointed counsel here. Based on your application, you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you give me your full name, please? Okay, spell your last name for me.
Erame.
Okay. You've been charged with one count of simple battery. Your bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes, I believe so. Right here.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
I'll do it automatically.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your response.
I do it automatically.
Okay, so if you bond out, it'll automatically be waived. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you did complete an application for court-appointed counsel. You didn't indicate whether or not you have a job. Do you have a job?
Yes.
Okay, and can you give me an average or an estimate of your monthly wages? Did you understand the question?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh, yes, you gotta say yes, Judge, not yeah. You gotta say yes, Judge, and yes, ma'am.
All right, yes, ma'am. I'm trying to.
You can just give me an estimate, like a ballpark figure,
1,000, I guess.
about 1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So based on your response, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Ajane Clement.
Okay, 1 minute, please.
Yes, you said step back.
No, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said, would you say Clemens?
Yes, ma'am. Ajane Clement.
Okay. You've been charged with one count of battery. Your bond amount is $4,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am. May I have a reduced bond?
I'm sorry, can you have a,
Reduced bond?
no, that's the lowest I can give you based on your criminal history. In addition, this is considered what they call a family violence battery. Therefore, there will be, let me finish, there will be special conditions included on your bond. The first condition is that you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Anthony Jackson. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am.
No contact means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone. You cannot contact Mr. Jackson through a third person. You cannot go to his home or workplace. You cannot contact him via text message or social media. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 9969 Walden Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
yes, ma'am.
If it is, you'll need to make other arrangements. However, I will include a provision in my order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property. You also cannot violate any laws while out on bond. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the course calendar.
Okay. Then it does appear that you completed your court-appointed form. Based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much, Judge.
Thank you.
All right.
State your name.
Lakeisha, they have it Lakeisha Dunn, but it's Lakeisha Wolford.
Okay. Thank you. 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Miss Dunn, you've been, I'm sorry, Dunn. Is Dunn your maiden name?
Yes,
Okay, Miss Walker Dunn,
Wolford.
Woodford, okay. You've been charged with one offense of criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
No. So,
It's not to what
Oh.
you understand the charges.
yes,
Okay, you can disagree, but I just asked, do you understand you being charged with criminal trespass? Do you understand that, Ms. Walker?
yes, I understand. I don't understand the charge itself.
Okay, so I can read the particulars in your warrant as to why you've been charged with a criminal trespass, family violence. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, please.
It states that on May 7, 2023 in Clayton County, Georgia, the offender committed criminal trespass, family violence. The offender removed the victims, Lakia Scott, removed Lakia Scott in that the offender intentionally locked the door and did not allow the victim to get access to the house. The offender advised the victim had lived at the residence for a couple of years. So under Georgia law, you cannot change the law or prevent a resident of a property from, you can't deprive them of their property or personal belongings if they stay with you. So that's just Georgia law. Okay, so that's a basic criminal trespass charge. If you want someone out of your house, you normally have to go through formal eviction proceedings. You understand that?
Yes,
So
now I do.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Now I do. Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, so in light of that, you're not gonna like what I have to say next. So because this is considered a family violence, anytime you reside with the victim is considered family violence. So unfortunately, I'm going to prohibit you from returning to that location while you're out on bond. Therefore, you're not to return to the premises at 9013 Jodico Estates Court, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236. Is that your primary residence?
That is my house. We don't have anywhere else to go.
I
And
understand.
there's a 14-year-old that I have guardianship of, and we all live in the same house. My husband is also here.
Yeah, I
So
understand that. And I'm giving him the same, I'm giving him the same bond conditions as well. Unfortunately, if it's a family violence matter, is out of my control. I do have to prohibit you from returning to that location. However, if you once you get an attorney, they can file a motion for reconsideration. But as of now, those are the bond restrictions. I will include a provision in my order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property. In addition, there's a no contact against Laquel Scott, the alleged victim in the case, which means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager. You cannot contact her through social media, through text message, through telephone, or a third person. Do you understand that?
that's my son.
Okay, well, that's the alleged victim in the case. It says the alleged victim is Laquel Scott, date of birth, May 1st, 2001.
Yes, and I wasn't even involved in the situation.
I understand, but again, those are the conditions of your bond. Again, we're not here to try your case today. Also, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date.
Yes. Do you know
Okay.
how
Let me
long does
finish
it?
now, ma'am. Please stop interrupting me. Let me finish and then I will allow you to ask questions.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Lastly, you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel based on your application. You do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney, therefore you will have to hire your own attorney. At this time, I'll take any questions that you have.
How long does it take for the process to get back into my own house? If I file an eviction, I mean, how are we gonna have both me and my husband out of the house? And we have a 14-year-old literally there that he's aggressive towards.
Who's your son is let me finish. I'm trying to listen, Miss Walker. Please stop talking. Who's aggressive towards whom?
LaKale was aggressive to us. He went and told a lie, and those officers believed him. And this happened in a matter of 10 minutes. I wasn't even involved in the situation, and that's why I shut and locked the door, because my 14-year-old was the only one in the house.
I understand that, but unfortunately, it looks like is this you, LaKale Scott? That's your son?
That's my son, and then my stepdaughter is my husband's son, but I have guardianship of her.
Okay, and but it looks like, okay, but let me finish. So it looks like your son your older son is what, 22, 23?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so like I said, unfortunately, because of the circumstances here, I have no choice to prohibit you from returning to that location. It's basically to avoid an escalation of any further acts of violence in the house. So I have your bond conditions can be reconsidered at the preliminary hearing, or like I said, you can get you an attorney to file the motion for reconsideration, okay, of your bond conditions. But that's all I can do here today. Okay. Yes. And so it's really to protect both parties. We don't want an escalation of any type of further acts of violence. You understand that? Okay. Well, I know you disagree, but
how am I to get the 14-year-old? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on, man. Step up. Say your name. Okay, Deborah Mitchell.
Okay, 1 minute, Miss Mitchell. First name Deborah, correct? Ms. Mitchell, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is simple assault. Your bond amount is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond is $3,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Okay. Can you make bond?
Can I have a reduction in bond?
No, I'm giving you the lowest bond that I can give you on the criminal trespass and simple assault, particularly in light that both charges are family violence. Do you understand that? You understand that both charges are family violence?
I'm not related to the individual, and the person that I was told the name that was given is not the name that I know the person as. Does that make a difference?
Well, it says the alleged victim, it says both parties live at the residence together, making this a family violence incident, according to the officer's statements in the warrant. It also states that the alleged victim name is it Chakia, him, Chaneca, him is Helm. Do you recognize that name?
No, not at all. I was told her that the person that I rented the room to, the name was Miracle Estes, Estis, and that was on this past Friday.
Well, this incident occurred on May 7th. So I'm not certain what happened this past Friday, but it says this incident happened. I'll just read you the particulars in the warrant. It says the offender, Deborah Mitchell, did admit to placing the victim, that's Ms. Him, belonging outside of the residence because the victim who lives at the residence refused to leave. The offender admitted that the victim had been living at the residence since May 5th of 2023 and had contributed $100 to the residence for rent. The offender also placed the victim in immediate fear of bodily harm by pointing her finger in the victim's face in an aggressive manner. Both parties live at the residence together, making this a family violence incident. Nothing further. This incident occurred in Clayton County, Georgia. So do you now understand the criminal trespass and simple assault charges? Again, you cannot prohibit someone if they reside at a particular property. You cannot prohibit them from returning there unless you go through formal eviction proceedings. You understand that? Okay. So again, you must stay away from Ms. Him. Also, you also not gonna like the next thing I'm gonna say, but because it's a family violence incident, I'm gonna have to prohibit you from returning to that location, which is the incident location identified as 7796 Newberry Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia 30236. You also cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that to be the conditions of your bond, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, I'm essentially homeless, but okay.
Okay, well, you can get an attorney to see if they can file a reconsideration of your bond conditions, okay? And then let's see here, you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so you can speak to a court-appointed attorney about getting your bond conditions revised. You understand that? Under the circumstance.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. One minute. Okay, please give me your full name.
Danica Kiara Parker.
Ms. Parker, you've been charged with one offense and simple battery. Your bond amount is $2,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you can make bond, there will also be special conditions included on your bond order. Because the simple battery is considered, let's see, family violence, that means you must stay away from the alleged victim in the case. No contact on Mr. Rodriguez Parker. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am. That's my husband.
Okay, because he's the alleged victim in the case, you got to stay away. Absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media. You cannot contact him via telephone or through a third person. You understand that? You understand? Yes. No contact, Ms. Parker. You say yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 5771-B6AA Trammell Road, Clayton County, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
It is.
If it is, you'll need to make other arrangements. However, I will include a provision in the bond order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that location. Also, you cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
You can keep it on the court's calendar.
Okay, and then you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, give me your full name.
Yes, Judge. Brittany Williams, Brittany Roshina Williams.
Okay, 1 minute. Ms. Williams, you've been charged with one offense of criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I do have a question.
Okay, well, let me finish, and I'll let you ask questions, okay?
Okay.
My first question is, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. This is also a family violence criminal trespass charge. Because it is family violence, you to have no contact with the alleged victim by the name of Lindell Frazier. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you must stay away from the alleged victim, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message. Cannot contact them through social media, through telephone, or through a third person. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 2721 Silver Queen Road, Ellenwood, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
No, it's not.
Okay. Do you have any undisputed personal property there?
Yes, I do.
Okay, if you have any undisputed personal property, I will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property from that residence. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also cannot violate any laws while out on bond. Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the calendar.
Okay. Also, you did complete an application for court-appointed counsel, it looks like. 1 minute. Based upon your response, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. I'll take any questions now.
Okay, yes, ma'am. At the beginning of my case, I was told that I was being arrested for criminal damage under $5, not criminal trespassing, and that happened because I cut my hand open and bled out in the living room that was all white. He was complaining about blood getting all over the living room and so forth, saying I damaged the property by me bleeding, and recorded video of me instead of getting emergency services as I had called.
Okay. According to the warrant, it is criminal trespass, what we call criminal trespass damage to property. Specifically, it is alleged that the offender intentionally damaged the victims, that's Mr. Frazier, property without said owner's consent by intentionally placing blood on the victim, as well as the home belongings, damaging the home floor and 2 of his sofas. The 2 parties have been living together as boyfriend and girlfriend for at least 2 months. I observed blood on the 2 sofas, floor, and the victim's shirt and face. This damage to the property was valued at approximately $400. So that's why it's considered criminal trespass damage to property. Do you have any other questions?
Even though I don't live there, and there was a video at the time me showing that I was bleeding out, asking him to call the cops, and he was recording a video just looking at me saying, hey, can you call the cops? That was still.
Remember, we're not here to try your case today. That's good information that you can give your defense attorney. I can only go on what the warrant states, and it does appear to be probable cause to charge you with the criminal trespass damage to property. Okay.
All right.
So let me finish. That will conclude your first appearance hearing for today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. You said the bond was $2,500 or $2,000?
$2,000.
$2,000. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. State your full name for me.
Clayton White.
Okay, Ms. White. Ms. White, you've been charged with 1 offense of battery. Your bond amount is $3,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
I'll schedule your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that's your next court date?
Yes.
Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the calendar.
Okay. Secondly, it does appear that you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, give me your full name.
Deja Woodson.
Okay, 1 minute. Ms. Woodson, you've been charged with 4 offenses. The first offense is speeding in violation of Georgia law. Your bond amount is $1,000. The second offense is driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond amount is $1,500. The third offense, aggressive driving in violation of Georgia law. Your bond amount is $500. Fourth offense is possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond is $4,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
Okay. If you can make bond here, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
You can keep it on the calendar. Is that, can I have sorry. Can
No,
I have a,
you got the
is
lowest, you got the lowest bond amount, Ms. Woodson.
Okay.
And then, let me finish. Do you require a court-appointed attorney?
no, thank you. I have an attorney, Judge. I just had a really quick question.
Yes, what is your question?
So I was wondering if I could have an OR signature bond instead of.
No, I looked at your criminal history is along with the offenses and, no, in light of the circumstances, with respect to this, incident, I did not find it sufficient to seek approval for OR bond. Okay?
Okay, I have like stayed out of trouble like for 3 years.
I know, but you still have a criminal history. You understand that? Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Thank you.
We done.
Okay, look like we're ready for the male inmate, correct?
Judge, did you want to start with the interpreter first?
Oh, yes, I did. Let's do the interpreter.
All right, Judge, I'm gonna log out for the females.
Okay,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. Good morning, Ms. Tolles. If you want to state your full name for the record for me, I can swear you in.
Chachi Tolles.
Ms. Tolles, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully interpret from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English, the proceedings before this court in an accurate manner to the best of your skills and knowledge?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. So let me pull the male inmates. I'm sorry, sir, give me your full name so I can pull your file.
Señor, si me puede decir cuál es su nombre completo, así puedo agarrar su expediente.
Genaro Martínez Victoriano.
Genaro Martínez Victoriano.
Sí. Y a ver, ¿cuánto se debe de para poder salir?
How much is owed so that I may be able to get out, Your Honor?
Okay, let him know that I'll give him that, but I first need to give him his rights. So if he remain patient as well as silent, I will give him his rights as well as his bond amounts.
Señor, le voy a dar esa información, pero primero le tengo que repasar sus derechos. Así que si me tiene paciencia y guarde silencio por el momento, le voy a dar esa información más la información de su fianza.
First, please let him know that this is his first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Primero, señor, esta audiencia es su comparecencia inicial en la sala menor del Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
We are not here to try your case today or to take a plea.
No estamos acá para llevar el caso a juicio, tampoco para aceptar su manifestación de declaración ante las acusaciones.
You are here for the court to inform you of the charges against you.
Estamos acá para que yo como juez le informe de las acusaciones en su contra,
Advise you of certain rights,
para que le informe de ciertos derechos,
set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail,
para imponerle fianza por los delitos los cuales tengo la autorización de imponer fianza,
and schedule a preliminary hearing on your behalf.
y también para que yo programe su audiencia preliminar.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing.
Señor, usted tiene derecho a permanecer callado sin decir nada.
But should you choose to give up this right,
Pero si usted elige renunciar a ese derecho,
anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you if your case goes to trial.
cualquier cosa que diga se puede tomar en su contra si el caso procede a juicio.
During this first appearance hearing and all other court proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence,
Durante esta diligencia judicial y cualquier audiencia futura, usted tendrá el derecho a la presunción de inocencia,
until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
hasta que el Estado pruebe su culpabilidad más allá de una duda razonable.
You have the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies,
Tiene derecho a una acusación formal por el gran jurado cuando se trata de delitos graves
or by accusation for misdemeanors.
o que procedan contra usted con una acusación cuando se trata de delitos menores.
You have a right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Tiene derecho a un juicio público y sin demora ante un jurado.
You also have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses who are called to testify against you.
También tiene derecho a ver, a escuchar y a contrainterrogar cualquier testigo convocado en su contra.
You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena.
Tiene derecho a obligar la presencia de testigos por medio de citatorio judicial a su favor.
You also have the right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so.
También, si usted elige hacerlo, tiene derecho de dar testimonio y presentar pruebas en su propia defensa.
But should you choose not to do so,
Pero si elige no hacerlo,
no presumption of your guilt may be raised.
no se puede tomar por sentado culpabilidad de su parte.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you during these proceedings and all other court proceedings.
Tiene derecho a un abogado para representarle en esta diligencia judicial y cualquier diligencia judicial.
Some of you, including you, will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds from your release from jail pending prosecution of your case.
A usted se le permitirá, a algunos de ustedes se le permitirá depositar fianza sin restricciones mientras se tramite su caso.
Your bond can be paid by cash, commercial, or property.
Se puede pagar la fianza en efectivo a través de una compañía comercial o utilizando un inmueble como garantía.
If you post a cash bond,
Si deposita su fianza en efectivo,
someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with any applicable fees to the sheriff's office.
alguien tendría que entregar el total de la fianza en efectivo más las tarifas asociadas a la oficina del sheriff del condado.
The sheriff's office would then hold it until your final court date.
Luego, la oficina del sheriff guardará el dinero hasta su última diligencia judicial.
At which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it.
Y en ese momento se devolverá la fianza en efectivo a la misma persona que la depositó.
If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff,
Si utiliza una de las compañías de fianzas aprobadas por la oficina del sheriff,
someone would have to pay the company up to 15% of the total bond as their fee.
alguien tendría que pagar hasta un 15% de lo que es la fianza total como la tarifa para la compañía,
For their service,
para la tarifa de servicio de la compañía de fianzas.
this fee will not be returned.
Y esa tarifa no se devuelve.
Someone may also post bond using their property,
Alguien también podría tramitar la fianza a través de una propiedad.
if they have net equity in the property in an amount equal to 3 times the total amount of the bond.
Si el dueño de tal propiedad tiene un patrimonio neto de por lo menos 3 veces el valor de la fianza.
Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going around certain places.
Algunos de ustedes tienen fianzas que conllevan condiciones especiales, las cuales prohíban que tengan contacto con ciertas personas o que vayan a ciertos lugares.
This special condition will be provided on your bond order.
Las condiciones especiales que tiene con la fianza vendrán incluidas en la orden de fianza.
You will also be prohibited from calling or having contact with the alleged victim while you're out on bond.
También, mientras está en libertad bajo fianza, se le prohibirá llamar o tener contacto con la presunta víctima.
Should you violate the court's order,
Si llega a violar la orden judicial,
your bond will be revoked
su fianza quedará revocada
and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial.
y no tendrá derecho a otra fianza mientras está esperando el juicio de su caso.
An additional charge of aggravated stalking,
Acusaciones adicionales de hostigamiento con agravantes
influence of witnesses,
o de influenciar a testigos
other charges as the law may provide could be brought against you.
o otras acusaciones correspondientes, según dispone la ley, se pueden formular en su contra,
for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000.
por los cuales se le puede imponer una pena de 10 años de prisión o una multa de $20,000.
For family members who will assist you in posting bond,
Para los familiares que le van a ayudar a pagar la fianza,
they will be provided with information of your bond amount after we have concluded the first appearance calendar for today.
se les dará información de la fianza una vez que hayamos concluido la audiencia de hoy.
If a family member is an alleged victim on the warrant,
Si un familiar suyo resulta ser la presunta víctima que aparece en la orden de arresto
and there's a special condition that you're to have no contact with that family member,
y existe una condición especial que dispone que usted no puede tener ningún contacto con ese familiar,
he or she will not be allowed to post bond.
a él o a ella no se le va a permitir pagar la fianza por usted.
Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is simply not authorized by law to set bail.
Algunos de ustedes tienen acusaciones las cuales no tengo la autorización de imponerle fianza.
In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a superior court judge.
Si ese es su caso, se programará una audiencia para determinar su fianza ante un juez de la sala superior.
And you will be informed of that day during your first appearance hearing.
Y durante esta comparecencia inicial se le informará de la fecha de la audiencia de determinación de fianza.
If you're currently on active probation, this court is not authorized by law to set bond.
Si actualmente está cumpliendo una condena de libertad condicional, no tenga la autorización de imponerle fianza aún.
Your bond can be reconsidered after your probation officer has the opportunity to determine
Se le puede reconsiderar la fianza una vez que su funcionario de libertad condicional haya tenido la oportunidad,
if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation.
si quisiera presentar una orden de aprehensión por haber incumplido las normas de su condena condicional.
I will also provide you with your preliminary hearing date during your first appearance hearing.
Durante esta comparecencia inicial, también le informaré de la fecha de su audiencia preliminar.
The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there's enough evidence or probable cause
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar es para determinar si existen suficientes indicios, es decir, motivo justificado,
to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial.
para meritar su detención hasta que su caso procede a juicio.
If you are charged with misdemeanors only,
Si solamente se encuentra con delitos menores imputados,
you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing.
tendrá la opción a renunciar a la audiencia preliminar.
Waiving your hearing will not affect your right to post bond.
Renunciar a la audiencia preliminar no le afectará en su derecho a depositar fianza
Your right to have an attorney represent you,
o su derecho a un abogado para representarle.
or your right to a jury trial.
Tampoco le afectará su derecho a un juicio por jurado.
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Si deposita fianza para salir, su audiencia preliminar quedará renunciada automáticamente.
And you will be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for arraignment.
Y se le enviará por correo una notificación para cuando se tiene que presentar a la sala estatal para su instrucción de cargos.
If you cannot make bond,
Si no puede pagar la fianza,
you may waive your preliminary hearing
puede renunciar a la audiencia preliminar
and be taken before a state court judge.
para tener una audiencia ante un juez de la sala estatal.
At which time, if you plead guilty,
Y en ese momento, si manifiesta una declaración de culpabilidad,
you will be sentenced.
se le impondrá la condena.
If you plead not guilty, a trial will be scheduled on your behalf.
Si manifiesta una declaración de no culpable, se programará un juicio por usted.
If you choose to have a misdemeanor preliminary hearing, your hearing will be scheduled for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Si elige tener su audiencia preliminar, será programada para el día 30 de mayo 2023 a las 8:30 de la mañana por medio de Zoom.
If you're charged with a felony offense, you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing.
Esto es si tiene delitos menores. Si se acusa de un delito grave, no tendrá la opción a renunciar a la audiencia preliminar.
Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Su audiencia preliminar entonces será para el 23. I'm sorry, Your Honor, the interpreter has made a mistake. It will be scheduled for May 31st.
Yes.
Okay. La audiencia preliminar para los que tienen delitos graves será programada para el 31 de mayo 2023 a las 8:30 de la mañana por medio de eso.
That will conclude my statement of rights to you.
Así se concluye mi explicación sobre los derechos para usted, señor.
I will now proceed forward with identifying the charges and your bond amount for each charge.
Entonces le voy a informar de los delitos imputados y también la fianza para cada uno de los delitos.
The first offense is open container in violation of Georgia law. Your bond amount is $500.
El primer delito es envase de bebida alcohólica abierta, contraveniendo la ley de Georgia, y la fianza para esta infracción son $500.
Second offense is red light violation. The bond amount is $500.
El segundo delito es desobedecer un semáforo en rojo. La fianza para este delito es $500.
The third offense is driving while unlicensed. The bond amount is $1,000.
El tercer delito es manejar sin licencia. La fianza para ese delito es $1,000.
The fourth offense is DUI, alcohol less safe. Your bond amount is $3,000.
Y la cuarta o el cuarto delito es manejar bajo los efectos de alcohol o manejar bajo el riesgo de embriaguez. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was the bond amount for that one?
$3,000.
La fianza para este delito es $3,000.
Therefore, your total bond is $5,000.
Entonces, su fianza total es $5,000.
Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Señor, entiende las acusaciones y también su fianza.
Si pago esa fianza, es probabilidad de que me dejen salir.
So, Your Honor, if I pay that bond, there's a chance that they will let me out.
Well, no, I've set bonds, so if you can pay your bond, and you will be released, sir.
Ya impuse la fianza, entonces si puede pagar la fianza, usted lo dejará en libertad.
Okay, please let him know that his preliminary hearing is scheduled for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Y señor, su audiencia preliminar está programada para el 30 de mayo 2023 a las 8:30 de la mañana por medio de Zoom.
¿Es aquí donde tengo que venir?
And so is that here where I need to come, Your Honor?
Via Zoom.
Es por medio de Zoom, señor.
Ok.
Okay.
La fianza es $5,000.
And so my bond is $5,000.
Total, yes.
En total, sí, señor.
Ok.
Okay, can you ask him if he needs a court-appointed attorney?
Señor, ¿necesita usted un abogado de oficio?
No, simplemente quiero hacer una llamada con un familiar mío, si puedo hacer llamadas con él para comentarle de la fianza, lo que se tiene que pagar.
No, I just need to make a phone call to a family member of mine to let him know what the bond amount is.
Okay, does he mind answering a few questions so I can determine if he qualifies for a court-appointed attorney?
Está bien, señor. ¿Le molesta contestar unas preguntas para que yo determine si usted cumple los requisitos para un abogado de oficio?
Claro.
Okay.
Can you ask him if he has a job?
¿Tiene trabajo, señor?
¿Mande?
Excuse me.
No le escuché.
I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry. Do you need me to repeat the question?
¿Necesita que yo repita la pregunta, señor?
Sí.
Yes. please.
Yes. Does he have a job?
Que si usted tiene trabajo, señor.
Sí, sí tengo trabajo.
Yes, I have a job.
Can he give me an estimate of his monthly wages or income?
¿Me podría decir sus ingresos mensuales, calculando estimado?
Mis ingresos mensuales son $700.
My monthly income is $700.
So please inform me, I will appoint an attorney to represent him.
Entonces sí, voy a designar un abogado de oficio para representarlo, señor.
Does he have any other questions?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta más, señor?
No, pues mira, el abogado, usted me sugiere si por dado caso no pueda pagar la fianza.
No, but the attorney you're suggesting for me, is that in case I cannot pay my bond?
No, it's in the event he's unable to hire his own attorney.
No, señor. Es en caso de que no puede contratar a su propio abogado.
Okay, please let him know that will conclude his first appearance hearing for this morning.
Muy bien, señor. Su audiencia de comparecencia inicial ya se concluye para el día de hoy.
¿Sería todo? Sí.
Is that all?
Yes.
Sí, señor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, please state your full name for me, sir.
Vicente Andrews.
Mr. Andrews, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is tampering with evidence. Your bond amount is $3,000. The second offense is disorderly conduct. Your bond amount is $1,500. The third offense is obstruction or hindering a law enforcement officer. Your bond amount is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond is $6,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount? Can you make bond?
Yeah. Wait. Can I see like the OR bond?
No, sir, not under the circumstance. You've been charged with a felony. The tampering with evidence is considered a felony. In addition, in light of the circumstances here, no, you do not qualify for an OR bond. Your bond amount, again, total is $6,500. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yeah.
Okay, and then based on your court-appointed form, you didn't complete whether or not you put a 1-1 and asked you, do you have a job? Do you have a job? Do you have a job, Mr. Andrews?
No.
Okay. So therefore, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Hi, Your Honor. Was that the only one that you?
Oh,
needed an
yes, I'm
interpreter
sorry.
for?
Moving on, Ms. Toles. And yes,
That's okay.
I believe that's the only inmate that required an interpreter. Is that correct, Deputy?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, so Ms. Toles, you can be released. I apologize for that.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please give me your full name, sir.
Tell your name. I'm sure to
No, sir. Can you speak?
oh,
You
you
can
know
speak.
what I'm doing.
Just give me your full name. I need your full name so I can make sure you are who I say you are. I don't want to give you someone else's charges. So can you give me your full name,
I
sir?
almost said the wrong thing. I don't
Okay,
want to
give-
incriminate myself.
Okay, well, you can still give me your full name.
See, I wish I knew.
Okay, sir. Give me, Deputy, if you can read his name on his wristband for me.
It's Arthur Lee Ballard Jr.
Okay, so you've been charged with 1 offense of loitering or prowling. Your bond amount is $1,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount? Yes or no, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date, sir?
What?
Your next court date is May 30th. You understand that? You understand that's your next court date, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, and then it looks like you did not complete the request for court-appointed counsel. Do you not need an attorney to represent you? You sure?
No.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions to see if you qualify for one?
No. I ain't worried about it.
Okay, you're gonna hire your own attorney?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good.
Okay, state your full name for me.
Yes, please. Bobby Gregory.
Hey, Mr. Gregory, is it Bobby Lee Gregory III?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is violation of Georgia seatbelt law. Your bond amount is $500. The second offense is open container in violation of Georgia law. Your bond amount is $500. The third offense is driving under the influence. Your bond amount is $3,000. Therefore, your total bond is $4,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
For a reduced bond, I've never had a bond. I wasn't even drinking, driving. It just caught the containers. And that's how that went.
Okay, well, sir, I've given you the lowest bond amount. The 500s are the preset bond amounts that's set by the chief judge, and then the 3,000 is based on the circumstances here is the appropriate bond amount I feel in this case. So that's your bond amount. I scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court calendar?
Keep it on the court order.
Okay, and then based on your court-appointed application form, it's unclear whether or not you have a job. Do you have a job, sir?
Southern Auto Salvage. Yes, I do have a job, but the amount I make a month, $2,400 a month. It's all on there.
Okay, well, you didn't put, it didn't say yes or no whether or not you have a job. It says, do you have any money or cash that you can obtain for another source? So you didn't put anything for your monthly wages. But now that you've clarified that, then I have granted you a court-appointed attorney. If you don't have any questions, that will conclude your first appearance hearing for today. Okay, state your full name for me.
Nathaniel Johnson.
Okay, 1 minute.
Your Honor, can I have a
Do not speak, sir. Do not speak. Do not speak until I give you your charges. Okay, I'll allow you, as you can see, I'll allow every person to ask questions when once I provide them a notice of their charges. So please remain patient. Okay, state your full name for me, sir.
Keith Nathaniel Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you've been charged with 4 offenses. You have 3 separate counts of obstruction of a law enforcement officer. The bond amount for each one is $2,000. You also have a criminal trespass charge considered family violence. The bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond is $7,500. Do you understand the bond as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've scheduled, let's see, can you make bond?
Is there any way that I could get it reduced? I'm not 100% sure if I could make that bond.
No, sir, because this is considered family violence. And you also had, I guess there were several attempts for a law enforcement officer, I guess, to try to investigate this issue. And you, according to the warrant, allegedly you prohibited them from doing so. So in light of the circumstances, I cannot give you an OR bond today. If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. They have the alleged victim name as Keith Johnson, which appears to be your name, but it must be a different Keith Johnson because they have a different date of birth. So
make a statement. These charges, can I just make a statement?
Well, no, I don't want you to know, because remember, anything you say can and be will.
What you said.
Let me finish, sir. I just asked you, do you recognize the name? The reason why I asked because there's going to be a no contact against the alleged victim in the case. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Can you repeat that?
Okay, there's going to be a no contact against the alleged victim in the case identified as Keith Johnson. You understand that?
I am Keith Johnson.
Okay, but they have a separate Keith Johnson with a different date of birth. Who's the alleged victim? Okay, who's the alleged victim in the case? Do you know?
There was no victim. That's why I'm trying to ask if I could just have a moment, about 20 seconds, to explain to you.
No, sir, I do not want you to explain the charges. What I need for you to do, because again, anything you say can and will be used against you. We're not here to try your case today. I'm only here to set bond for you, to see if I can set bond, and then to include special conditions on your bond. The condition also is because this is considered a family violence. Okay, criminal trespass is a family violence. I'm prohibiting you from returning to that location. It's identified as 655 Washington Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia 30238. Is that your primary residence?
That's my primary residence.
Okay,
And
if that's your primary residence, so you will be prohibited from returning to the location while you're out on bond. Do you understand that?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you can't violate any laws while out on bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar? You want to keep it on the calendar, sir?
If I waive it, what exactly does that mean?
It means that it will just be waived. It's not necessary to have it. The purpose of preliminary hearing is to determine if there's enough evidence or probable cause to continue to detain you in jail. If you may bond, then it's automatically waived because there's no reason for the hearing if you're already out on bond. You understand that?
Yes.
So if you want to wait to, if you can make bond, it'll automatically be waived. Okay.
All right.
And then based on your court-appointed form, you indicated you needed assistance. Do you currently have a job?
No, ma'am.
So based on that, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you. At this time, I'll take any questions, sir.
I was never told that I was put under arrest. I was never told about any charges. I was never read my Miranda rights.
Okay.
There was no violence at the home. There was no items broke inside the home. There was no items damaged inside the home.
Okay.
The only thing that was told to the police is that I closed the door. But I didn't close a door and obstruct anybody from entering the house. There was no person outside of the door.
Okay, so again, sir, we're not here to try your case today. I've set bail for you and I've given you a court-appointed attorney. So that will conclude your first appearance hearing for today. Thank you. Can you take your full name for me?
Adair Jones.
Mr. Jones, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is criminal trespass, family violence. Your second offense is obstruction of a law enforcement officer. The bond amount for the first offense of criminal trespass is $2,000. The bond amount for obstruction of a law enforcement officer is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond is $4,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
I have to make some calls. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
I'm sorry, you said 2:30.
No, 8:30. May 30th at 8:30 via Zoom.
Okay.
Okay, would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
On the court's calendar.
Okay. And then if you can make bond, because this is a family violence charge, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is you to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Precious McKellar. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who's that?
She's my girlfriend.
Okay. Okay, well, that's all I need to know. I just wanted to make sure you understood that there's a no contact, which with respect to her, which means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager. You cannot contact her via text message, social media, telephone, or through a third person. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, because the alleged incident occurred at 2050 Ashley Place, Clayton County, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if it is, you'll need to make other arrangements. However, I will include a provision in my bond order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property. You also cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
See here, I gave you a preliminary hearing. Then let's see here. Did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel? Based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones. Okay, please state your full name for me.
David Robinson.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, give me your last name again. You said Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Spell your first name for me.
Quintavias.
Okay, that's correct. Sir, you have been charged with 4 offenses. The first offense is battery. Your bond amount is $3,500. The second offense is driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond amount is $1,500. The third offense is improper erratic lane change. The bond amount is $500. And then the fourth offense is improper lane change. Your bond amount is $500. Therefore, your total bond is $6,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts? Do you understand the charges, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Not sure. I have to make some calls.
Okay, no problem. I schedule your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then based on your court-appointed form, you indicated you have a job, but you didn't provide me with an estimate of your monthly wages. Can you give me an estimate?
I'm not sure. I kind of just started the job like a couple days ago.
Okay. Okay, do you know what your hourly wage was?
Yeah, I get paid 15.
And how many hours you work a week?
About 30. But I'm probably lost in the job by now. I wasn't able to make no phone call and no arrangements, so that's why I put like.
Okay. Okay, so you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. These charges, said that I didn't commit any of these charges. The person that wrote the statement been trying to get in contact with several people who were at the court to drop these charges, but they told me I had to be detained first. So
okay, well, that's something you can speak to your court-appointed attorney about. My only purpose here today is to set bond for you today and give you your preliminary hearing date, which I have. You understand that, sir? Your preliminary hearing date, May 30th, and then I've set bond. The total is $6,000. Okay? That will conclude your first appearance hearing for today. Thank you. State your full name for me.
Jerome Mario.
Okay, spell your last name for me, sir.
W-E-I-R.
Okay, so you've been charged with 4 offenses. The first offense is improper lane change. Your bond amount is $500. The second offense is driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond amount is $1,500. The third offense, obstruction or hindering a law enforcement officer, your bond amount is $2,000. And then the fourth offense of giving a false name, address, or date of birth to a law enforcement officer is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond is $5,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you make bond?
Absolutely.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
I believe I heard you say if I make bond, it's waived automatically.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make bond.
Okay. And then based on your court-appointed application, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. State your full name for me, sir. Spell it for me.
J-A-M-A-R-W.
Okay, sir. You've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is criminal trespass. The bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is battery family violence. The bond amount is $3,500. Therefore, your total bond is $5,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount? Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing and keep it on the court's calendar? You want to keep it on the calendar, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. I believe I spoke with your wife earlier. But unfortunately, in light of the circumstances here, the alleged victim in the case, which I understand is her son, LaKale Scott. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am.
Because he's the alleged victim in the case, you're to have no contact, which means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media. Cannot contact him via telephone or through a third person. You understand that? Also, because the alleged incident occurred at 9013 Jodico Estates Court, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if that's your primary residence, I will include a provision in the order that will allow you to make an appointment within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that location. And then you also cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that, sir? Also, you did complete the application for court-appointed counsel. You didn't indicate whether or not you have a job. Do you have a job? Do you have a job, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if you don't have a job, then you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you, sir. So, Deputy, I believe that's everyone on the calendar. I just want to confirm that Mr. Ernest Bonner, he's in medical, is that correct?
He's at the hospital.
Okay, so I'll do a continuance. Do you know how long he's going to be there?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll do a continuance for him just to make sure that he gets a first appearance. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.